Hi, how are you going? I heard you just say Shira went bankrupt because I'm not allowed to be on that level. No, I think that what you really mean is that Shira wasn't supposed to be on that level, and Shira got on that level. And when she did, things happened like, I don't know, you can't dock appropriately, or an ancestress shows up so that she can help with actual radioactive decontamination. But because you guys have another fear, namely fungus, I don't know, like the kind of fungus that might eat away an opium plant, you see it as a threat because for some reason, growing opium is more important than recognizing that you have a ancestor that's visiting from another realm that can help you with radioactive decontamination. And we're in this very strange situation where the priorities are so misrepresented that somehow you would rather allow for speculation on actual uranium to be used in realms that are completely inappropriate, including the safety of children. But when you have an ancestress that shows up at the actual space station who's capable of both taking metal and breaking it into another forum or format and also transmuting radioactivity, you label it a threat and talk about how you have to get rid of it. And you would rather have Shira on the shuttle with you. Do you understand what the problem is here? If you're using your space based operations in order to try to preserve the crop because your economy is generated in that direction, then things like actual nuclear disasters happen and they don't get responded to in the appropriate time frame. So it's one of these matters where if you are going to enforce, as you necessarily need to, specific kinds of safety standards, and you're going to allow for this kind of observation, then why would you cut me out or allow for me to be put on par in some sort of evaluation of economy with this kind of complete misrepresentation? See, the part you cut out talked about artificial depreciation and devaluation of currency based on inappropriate pairing. But when you don't even allow something to be paired, you know what you get? You get the same thing that we've been stuck with, right? Which is Richard Feynman's penny. We're still valued at Richard Feynman's penny. That one penny is enough to keep going without anybody else. And yet, you insist on putting that one penny to the side because your $1 trillion economy is supposed to be focused on legal CBD oil and figuring out a way to transport opium to other parts of the world from an area that had $1 trillion in mineral wealth that has now been allowed to be invisibilized and kept quiet because you're trying to still figure out the way to offset all of the risk associated with speculation on uranium with whatever is supposed to be the economy you've let develop instead of any other based upon dependency on drugs and misrepresentation of biological weapons and chemical weapons as some form of healthcare. I'm sorry, space medicine has never been the same since people allowed for these things to get that misrepresented. Do you have a problem with leadership in Texas? I mean, I do, right? I mean, I'm here in Texas, but women in leadership were not allowed to be women like me. So you're stuck with this complete misrepresentation of what else is possible. I really would like it and appreciate it if you would take an assertive role and understand that in some way, shape, or form, you also represent the people. You represent people from multiple countries that were supposed to cooperate on something very important. And rather than just letting us hear about how some lesbian and her cell phone got caught laundering money through her wife, can you guys actually put forth a clear and convincing argument about how you need for a recharacterization of this economy? Because apparently whatever you're seeing up there, they're willing to literally risk a nuclear disaster to cover up. And the only people that are going to be able to break through it, it seems, are you. So will you please do it already? Please. If the ancestress shows up again and she's actually capable of transmuting radioactivity, can you please not act like you don't know what's going on? Can you please not, again, put her in a little metal box so that a bunch of people can remotely monitor her and project onto her all of the complete slanderous misrepresentation that they can get away with? Can you please do that? Because that's what's going on here. And it's actually a nuclear disaster. And you guys see that and you know. Stop, please, please. Find a way to stop doing whatever your little edits are because it's really, it's gone too far. It's gone too far. How frequently do you guys actually transmute space radiation? How much can you stand? How much harder is it when it's compounded by knowing that the priorities on the planet you need to return to have prioritized drug use? Let me ask you, how many joints do you smoke on the International Space Station? How much CBD oil do you consume up there? Do you want everything you do up there to be used to pay for legal CBD oil and or normalization to acts of trafficking human beings who are smuggling illicit drugs until somebody can change the law to make them legal?